It was just ridiculous. It's not often that you're watching the WNBA or that I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I've just never seen this before.
Picture this, a commissioner drunk on power, a fan base pushed so far they finally snapped, and 3 stars, Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, standing together while the entire league shakes beneath them. Today, the WNBA is facing the biggest crisis in its history as more than 200,000 fans have officially announced a 2026 boycott, rising so fast that Kathy Engelbert reportedly walked out of league headquarters in panic. Sponsors are calling nonstop, Adam Silver is furious, and the league is seconds away from losing everything. This is the story the WNBA never wanted you to hear, a moment where history is collapsing in real time. It all began with a leaked players group chat revealing that Kathy had allegedly warned Caitlin Clark to stop participating in outside events, especially golf, and issued similar threats to Sophie and Lexi, including suspensions, benchings, and even possible termination.
As for what Engelbert is alleged to have said to Collier, if she actually suggested Caitlin Clark should be grateful for what she makes off the court, that's preposterous. Did you miss the Iowa years? Clark is the Tiger Woods tide that lifts all boats. And we know this show is proof. The highest rating we have ever had followed one of her games at Iowa. The WNBA has benefited from her presence more than the other way around, even though this year for Caitlin Clark was essentially lost to injury.
The players were stunned. Caitlin asked, "We can't even play golf? We can't even have lives," and for the first time, the biggest star the league has ever had felt cornered. Sophie and Lexi refused to leave her side, telling her, "If they suspend you, we walk too." 3 sisters in spirit, 3 teammates, 3 fan favorites, and Kathy chose the worst possible moment to start a war. When the threat leaked online, fans erupted. One tweet alone hit 1.2 million views, "Suspend Caitlin and we suspend the WNBA." Reddit blew up, Instagram blew up, TikTok blew up. Fans weren't just angry, they were done. They remembered the fake fouls, the targeted hits, Caitlin being benched for protection, threats over golf, warnings for simply existing. And then came the nuclear moment. Over 200,000 fans signed a verified 2026 boycott, climbing by the minute. It wasn't just individuals, families, kids, friend groups, entire communities joined in the numbers and didn't wait or negotiate.
Lifts all boats or whatever, basically. Like, if you buy into this, everybody is going to eat. Yet you had people fighting tooth and nail the entire season, not wanting it to be this way because other people weren't getting flowers, or she was getting too much attention, or she gets a special whistle, or I'm gonna check her off the ball here just because. And then her teammate cheers for her for throwing her on the ground. It didn't get better. And it's disappointing to me because it's not every player in the WNBA. And I'm sure that there are many players who are happy to have her in the league. And it's like, if it was my league and somebody was coming in and bringing millions of people, like, I would be excited about that, because you know what? That's a chance for me to impress millions of people who weren't watching before. And there's a lot of women in this league who don't have that kind of envy and jealousy and this kind of like secret club mentality that they only want certain people to.
More than 100 companies began pulling money, freezing funding, and threatening to walk away for good, and the WNBA realized this wasn't a scandal or a controversy, it was a financial heart attack. Kathy's decisions were killing the league in real time, and when the boycott count hit 210,000, Adam Silver snapped. He stormed into the office, slammed a binder on the table, and said, "Fix this or step down." The room went silent. Kathy froze, her face turning pale as he demanded, "Why are you threatening players for living their lives? Why are you targeting Caitlin? Why are you warning her teammates?" She tried to mumble excuses, but he cut her off. "You're not stopping golf. You're not suspending anyone. You're not firing anyone." Then the moment turned surreal. The assistant commissioner whispered something to Silver, and he immediately stood up, shook his head, and walked out without another word, his frustration boiling over. Inside Fever HQ, players' phones were buzzing nonstop. 200K boycotts, 220K, 235K, 250K. Caitlin stared at the screen as Sophie grabbed her hand and Lexi wrapped her arms around both. Caitlin whispered, "They're doing this for us, and Sophie replied, "Then we stay strong," with Lexi adding, "Together." Meanwhile, the WNBA office descended into chaos, employees crying, phones ringing endlessly, emails exploding, sponsors freezing everything, executives hiding behind closed doors. Kathy was shaking, completely out of plans, out of support, out of power. She finally understood the truth: you can't fight your fans, you can't threaten your stars, and you can't control people forever. By the end of the day, the boycott count, including families, soared past 1 million. Kathy's chair sat empty, her office locked, her voice silent. The league had lost sponsors, credibility, fans, money, and stability in a single catastrophic day.
Would be holding the players back from saying, yes, we agreed to an extension. Let's try to iron out this deal so there is no lockout. Right? They'll still be able to negotiate if there's a lockout. However, players won't be able to head to the facility. They won't be able to get treatment. They won't be able to train with the team, with the staff. So there is some things to lose if there is a lockout. Sources: WNBA offers players extension on CBA deadline. The WNBA has offered players a 30-day extension to continue negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement, sources told ESPN on Tuesday. An extension before the current CBA expires Friday would allow both sides more time to negotiate a new deal.
That question, which raises some sensitivities of rivalries between players. In the case of Angel Reese, who's just had to shut it down because of a wrist injury, Caitlin Clark, who's continuing to play. Rivalry that goes back to their college days, presumably, where I guess some trash talking entered in. But now it seems on some social media channels to have taken a darker turn, a more menacing turn, where race has been introduced into the conversation, where sexuality is sometimes introduced into the conversation. How do you try and stay ahead of that, try and tamp it down, or act as a league when two of your most visible players are involved, not personally, it would seem, but their fan base?
In every press conference, the league kept getting the same question: how do you stay ahead of chaos when two of your most visible players aren't causing trouble, but their fan bases are exploding around them? The truth is simple: the situation spiraled out of control because Kathy threatened Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, the very three she should have protected. Today, the WNBA didn't just lose players, it lost trust, and trust is everything. If you believe the fans were right, comment Boycott 2026 until justice is served. And if you stand with Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, hit like and subscribe, because this scandal is nowhere near finished.